Hey guys, how are we doing today? My name is George and welcome back to another wrestling review. This is my second one and my first one was actually on AEW, and the second one is going to be also on AEW. Now, I haven't watched, before anyone asks, I haven't watched, what was the one? Extreme Rules. I've not watched it. I know the results. I've not watched it. It's now Tuesday. It's just not really something that I want to watch yet, and I might get round to reviewing it. I don't know. I know this one's a little bit later than I normally would like it to be, but basically what it is that, you know, I watched this on Saturday night. I didn't go to bed till 5. I had work the next day, and then I had work the day after that. So I'm just currently doing this after work because it sort of makes it easier rather than trying to get up and doing the review. So if I do it now, I'm up, you know, I can just sleep later, right? So I'd rather do that. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. So, and then it's come out a little bit late. It's because I've just, like I said, literally what I've just told you. I did not watch the pre-show. I did not watch it, so I cannot review it, and I'm not going to go back and watch it because what I've been seeing on Twitter and other social media platforms, or just the internet in general, basically said it's virtually the exact same sort of how you would get how you watched Fyter Fest. It's not meh. Do you know what I mean? I don't really care. Now this one I've got a bit more, I like to say understanding, but I could be wrong. I've sort of written down everything on a notepad this time rather than use my phone. I watched it live as well, which did help because did I watch Fyter Fest live? I don't think I did, you know. I don't think I watched Fyter Fest live, so I was sort of reacting to as I was typing, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if you guys will like this style, but I'm going to go into it now. So obviously, if you want to leave a like as well before the video starts, would appreciate it. And obviously, subscribe as well. It'd be great. And also follow me on Twitter as well. I know I need to sort out my links as well with Twitter in regards to that. Because I have my old Twitter on there still. So I need to do that in the description of the video. So we're going to start off with the main card. And the first match of the night was MJF, Sammy Guevara, and Shawn Spears versus Darby Allin, Jimmy Havoc, and Joey Janela. Now, obviously, you know, they've all come out and stuff. Shawn Spears being announced as the chairman, obviously, you know, because he hit the chair with to Cody on in Fyter Fest. So there was a lot of tension in this match, and I'll sort of explain that as we go on. I sort of wish as well that I sort of did this like the next day, so I sort of got it in my memory, and I'm sort of lucky that I've got these notes, so I'm going to try and make it as fluent as possible without really looking at my notes too much. Obviously I'm going to have to, just because, you know, like, I'm not the best reviewer in the world, but I did love this show, so that's what you really need to know, to be honest. And then Darby Allin had taped ribs due to the coffin drop at Fyter Fest as well. So he obviously had taped ribs because that looked like, you know, really, really bad. And also, just a quick shout out as well. If you want to go and watch his interview with Chris Van Vliet, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I would recommend to go and watch it. It's on YouTube, and I watched it yesterday, and it's really, really good insight to his life and stuff. And it's just really, really good. I would recommend to. I think it's like a 40-minute one, but, you know, we're all, you know, you've got nothing else better to do, have you? So if you're listening to this now, like, you know, I would probably go and watch that before this, just so you have more of an understanding of how good he is. So yeah, so he had taped ribs, obviously due to that coffin drop. And it's sort of weird because I've put down like the sort of like the key moments in each matches. I wouldn't say key moments, but like cool moves and stuff. So it's obviously not going to be as fluent, but so Janela took a German suplex into the turnbuckle of Sammy Guevara, which actually looked quite brutal, to be honest. And then Darby Allin wanted to tag in versus Spears because then, you know, Guevara wanted, you know, tagged in Spears, but then he obviously tags back out to Guevara because Darby Allin tagged in, you know, got tagged in by Joey Janela because, you know, and then it's sort of like, no, you're not going to get it, because basically Darby Allin basically come out and said that he sort of took his moment from the match against Cody, and it was all eyes on Shawn Spears. so he sort of wanted a little bit of revenge, basically. So yeah, that's just the way it goes. But obviously Spears and MJF not obviously getting along, which is quite funny actually, because he did the MJF did the cartwheel, like there's the cartwheel, and then he did like the 10 to Spears, like the thing where he just points 10, you know how the taunt is. He sort of did it to Spears. It was actually quite funny, because obviously MJF's obviously supposed to be really, really good friends with Cody, etc. But obviously, we can sort of just move on from that. And then the other cool move, again, I suppose, was the Acid Rainmaker from Havoc to Spears, then a backstabber from Guevara to Havoc, it was a really, really cool sequence, to be honest. It was really, really good. And then to be honest, even in this match, like, Guevara looked really, really good. Because he give a 630 to Janela, but then he catches him into a Death Valley Driver on the highest part of the ring as well, which is absolutely insane. So he obviously out the ring, tries to go for a 630, didn't work. Janela catches him into a Death Valley Driver. It's absolutely insane. Then a Death Valley Driver of his from Spears to get the win. He got the pin on Darby Allin. So it was actually a really, really solid opener. It was good storytelling and loads of really good spots. It was just a good opener to the show, really. It's really hard. Like, I'm gonna just point this out. Like, it's really hard to just go off what I've written down, because I can't really explain it too much without really saying what the coolest moves in the match was. I suppose I don't really have to explain what actually happened in the match, like the key moments. I can just sort of I don't know how I want to do it, but I thought I'd write stuff down just in case, really. I don't know. Like, I know I'm sort of going back on myself, and you guys probably don't care, but then afterwards, Jabali was with the private party. They sort of like cut to like the people that were in the crowd, and Jabali was there with private party, but then he was escorted out as it's a private party, which is really, really cool. I suppose this just sort of makes sense. Like, this should just be together. Just leave. No one should be around them. It's their private party. Yeah, get it? That's the whole point. It's quite funny, actually. Then afterwards, we had the Brandy Rhodes story saying, if you must have watched the promo from her, in a way, like a package, where she's basically saying she can't do anything with pressure. Like, she folds under pressure. She can't do things. She was overcoming the pressure from an early age, because obviously with the whole ice skating thing, or figure skating, I can't remember what it was. So they were sort of hyping that up to begin with, before the match, which was the next match, which is Brandy Rhodes versus Ali. So they showed that, and then Brandy just come to the ring, basically. There was a handshake from Brandy, but before that even happened, Awesome Kong comes out, which is absolutely insane. Like, I generally didn't expect Awesome Kong to be in this sort of thing. Like, I didn't expect her to even appear. I don't think I even saw anything about her appearing either, like, potentially appearing. But to be honest, this match was sort of like, it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't overly fantastic. Like, I thought Brandy did quite well. And obviously, with the fact that she now had Awesome Kong on her side, Ali was Ali got distracted by Awesome Kong, but at the same time, like, she wasn't really doing anything to distract her. She was literally just outside. So, like, Ali was sort of getting the upper hand for the majority of the match, I suppose. But then, like, if she would go for something, like one of her moves, then it sort of she just got distracted by it, which is really, really strange. So that was sort of a thing, which I don't know why it was, it was just one of those things. And they also said on commentary as well that Brandy was gaining confidence in the ring, because she sort of, I don't know, like, when Brandy got sort of like offense in, and she sort of felt more confident in herself, like she would do more moves and stuff and just keep on her all the time. So that was always kind of cool. But then Brandy was tapping out to the Dragon Sleeper, but Kong distracts the ref, which was sort of really strange, because she put it on, and then like the ref sort of like, obviously then Kong got obviously on the apron, and then she started tapping. So that was sort of a weird thing. Like, so basically Brandy should have lost. And obviously then Ali was complaining to the ref. Then raked the eyes from Brandy into a spear for the 3 count, basically. So it wasn't awful. And then obviously Brandy, after the match, Brandy attacked Ali after the match. And then Aja Kong walks out, which is... I've no idea who this woman is. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not, like I said in my last Fyter Fest, review. I said that I wasn't really too familiar with certain people, but she come out before Kong can hit her move on Ali. So then they obviously scoured, and then they both walked to the back, which is actually quite cool. Hopefully, they do something with Aja Kong and Awesome Kong. It's just might as well, might as well. I don't see why not. I think that'd be quite good, to be fair. So then the next match, I don't really know too much about these sort of people. Like, when I say that, I'm gonna just basically go for it. So the next match was Dark Order versus Jack Evans and Angelico versus Jungle Boy and with Luchasaurus with Marco Stunt. Like, I've not heard of Marco Stunt before. Obviously, I think probably one of my favourite 2 people right now in AEW is Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. But Dark Order, I don't know where they're from. I've not seen them before, apart from AEW. I don't know if they were a faction before. I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. And then Jack Evans and Angelica, again, I don't really know too much. So I just wanted to point that out there. So I believe the winner of this match gets a first round bye in a tag team tournament, right? I'm pretty certain that is what the stipulation was. So there is still something to fight for, You get that first round bye in that thing is great, That's what you want to see. But basically, they all come out, and then when Luchasaurus come out and got in the ring, he got such a huge reaction when he just come out anyway. It was great. Those 2 did great. Like, Luchasaurus is so over right now. It's fantastic to see. And then obviously, like, the stuff he was doing in this match was literally insane. It was great. It was just great. It was just like, he's got so many good moves for a big guy as well. Like, he did even like a choke slam to the outside, and then it's just everything was just good. Like, this match was actually probably wasn't as good as what people may be making it out to be. It was alright. It just made Luchasaurus look really, really good in this match. I thought Dark Order was good, as well. So I think the ending of the match was a fatality to Jungle Boy for the 3 count. So basically Dark Order won. If I'm being honest, they did. Dark Order wins, which is always good for them. It sort of keeps them mysterious as well, because like they come out with their minions, but I can't remember what they called them now, because people keep saying minions, but then they said on commentary I can't remember what it was. It's going to annoy me now. I can't remember what it was, but they said it on commentary like I know they said something. I just literally can't remember what they said. Like what they normally what they want to be called. I can't remember. It's really going to annoy me. But it was an okayish match. It was a very fun tag team match, to be fair. It was like, I wouldn't say an okayish. There were some good spots as well, mostly from, well, to be honest, everyone really. I just probably am a little bit of a fanboy of Luchasaurus at the moment. I think he's really, really good. Obviously, I love Jungle Boy as well. It was just good. It was just good, Even Marco Stunt got in the bloody match, bloody grabbing the leg of Evans, and then does a hurricanrana on Evans, and then he gets ejected from the ring, which I suppose is quite cool, actually. But then again, right, I just want to point this out. So if he'd done that, why was there not a disqualification? Just saying, I don't get it. I really don't understand. But I'm probably just thick and not a really interested in wrestling when it comes to that. You think I'd know everything, but sometimes I just get a little bit confused. So yeah, that match was done. It was actually alright, to be fair. Good spots in there. Again, I loved it. But obviously I wanted Jungle Boy and Lucha to win, but just the way it goes, unfortunately. So next up was Hangman Page versus Kip Sabian. Now, I've not really seen too much of Kip Sabian, but I've got a lot of notes on here. It's mostly just from the moves and stuff. There were so many good stuffs in here. Like, it was just so many good moves. So basically, like, to start the match off, it was like a proper brawl. Paige getting the upper hand. But then as soon as Paige did a kip up, he was sort of feeling his knee and he wasn't 100%. So basically, again, they're going to obviously be playing on the whole injured knee thing, which I don't know if it actually is injured, but I'm assuming it is, and he's still not 100%. But what I found funny in this match was actually due to a fan, because when they both went out to the outside, Kip Sabian was sort of like, I guess, leaning on like the ring bit, like the you know what about the barricade, and then a fan literally gets into his face and saying, "You're a prick." Literally just says, "You're a prick," and then Sabian tried to kiss him, which I found quite funny, like just like fucking shut up, which is fantastic. There was a belly to belly suplex in here, but to me it looked like it was supposed to be like a belly to belly into the turnbuckle, but then I don't know why I said that, but because it just wouldn't work. A belly to belly, yeah, it would actually, yeah. It just felt like he should come off a little bit short, which is fine. I'm just thought I'd let you know. That's what I generally thought. I could be completely wrong. Then as the match continued, Paige throws Sabian out the ring with a power bomb onto the stage, like, you know, like the rampway, like, you know, like if you watch the show, like the so you had the entrance and you had the rampway, but the rampway was like the same sort of level as the ring, and that looked really, really fucking insane. I couldn't believe it. And then Kip Sabian gets in at the 9 count. Then there was a swinging net breaker from Paige, from the top rope, and then he kicks out at 2. But then in the end, the Hangman Page wins with a Deadeye for the 3 count. 19 minutes and 13 seconds as well. So Paige went 19 minutes, which is actually quite insane considering. And it was sort of like it was sort of shades of Cody versus Darby, really, if I'm being honest. Like, sort of like trying to get Kip over, making him legitimate, because obviously Hangman Page, obviously number 1 contender, is fighting Chris Jericho at All Out, so it sort of makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, just to give Kip a bit of a rub. Although he lost, he still looked really, really good in this match. Yeah, that's just what I'm trying to say. Like, he wouldn't stay down, just like Darby didn't, you know, against Cody, which I found quite interesting, to be honest. I thought it was actually a really, really good match. It did start off a little bit slow. I wasn't really getting into it. I think at the time, I didn't obviously know it was really, really hot in, it was really, really hot in the, like, I think it was an outdoor as well. And, it just was really, really hot, just evening, I suppose, and the fans wasn't really into it that much personally, but that could just generally to do with, you know, the fact that it was hot, you know. But the last 5 minutes of the match was pretty good. But then after the match, obviously I put Dark Order attacking Paige, but it looks like Jericho, and it was Jericho. Because I was thinking, why would Dark Order, like, I just, you know, when you like mark out for a sec and you think to yourself, what the fuck am I doing? And then it's like, hang on a sec, it's just Chris Jericho in a mask, just wearing a Dark Order attire. Paige took a code breaker from Jericho, and then that made him like his eyebrow, and like he's got like a bit of a shiner now basically, and he was bleeding. Then he hits the Judas effect as well. So it's been quite good. It was. I didn't expect Jericho, but I suppose in a way, because you knew Jericho was going to be there later on in the show, during his open mic thing. But I didn't know. I don't know for whatever reason. I just generally didn't expect it, which I think I should really expect. Then the next match was SCU versus Lucha Brothers. Lucha Brothers, I didn't know was over that much. They obviously have been fantastic recently. Personally, I think they've been fantastic forever. I think. But I'm not really too familiar. I don't really watch too many of their matches. I don't really know too much. Basically, they were sort of getting the crowd hyped at the start of the match with their own different chants, which is really, really cool, I suppose. 50-50, 60-40 to the Lucha Brothers, probably. There was just so many cute super kicks in this match. Like, it was so just insane. Although I would probably say this is match of the night. There were so many sick spots at the start of the match. You know what I mean? Like the spot where there was a super kick from Pentagon on Scorpio Sky. basically like it was sort of like a head balance from Sky on the thing to sort of like avoid him, but then he sort of steps back. It just looks sick. I just don't know what it was. But I just generally thought this was just probably match of the night. There was so much good action. Lucha Brothers hit. Basically, Lucha Brothers won. Just wanted to throw it out there. They won, which I believe was. I can't. Yeah. Lucha Brothers get the free count from a stomp and a package pile driver. So it's hard to explain what I mean. But they won anyway. There's so many good stuffs in here. Like it was great. Again, like generally match of the night so far. Then after the match, Lucha Brothers hit a ladder to Daniels after he came out. Then Pentagon basically gets the mic and then starts his chant again, which I believe is no fear, but in Mexican. So I don't want to just pronounce it because I don't know what I'm on about. And obviously it was Lucha Brothers' first win in AEW as well, which is quite cool. Basically, Pentagon says they're the best tag team on the planet, is Lucha Brothers. And then he calls out the Young Bucks. They want a ladder match. Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers at Chicago All Out. And I'm assuming Lucha Brothers. I'm assuming the Young Bucks will accept. I assume. I hope. I pray. It'd be great. So that was sort of the end of that. It was like I know I didn't really do it justice, but there was so many sick spots in this match. It was just really really good. Probably would recommend to watch it if you have the time again to rewatch it and just sort of. Yeah, it was good. Then next up was Kenny Omega versus Shima. It was actually probably the match I was most looking forward to, if I'm being completely honest. It was really strange, this match, because I was looking forward to it, and there were so many cool moments in this match. It sort of started off where you just sort of filling each other out, stuff like that. But just want to just thought I'd let you know, right? I don't know why I put this in my notes, right? But it's a fun fact, apparently, according to me, that basically Kenny Omega wrestled in my hometown before the tease of that Royal Rumble match. When Kenny was supposed to be going to WWE, right? He was supposed to be like might pop up at Royal Rumble. I think it was that weekend of or the weekend before, where he basically come to my hometown in England. To do a show. I believe it was supposed to be like John Morrison or Rey Mysterio, I think, at the time, but they couldn't make it or something like that. And then Kenny stepped in last minute, which was a little bit annoyed because I didn't actually go. I just thought I'd let you know. So when you just type in Kenny Omega Royal Rumble tease, the interview that he done after was actually in my hometown, which is really, really cool. Like, he got us some exposure for whatever reason. I don't know why. But yeah, so basically they basically had the fans were chanting, "This is awesome," before the match, which we knew it was going to be. But Shima got a lot of offense in this match. Like, he basically, pretty much Shima, all he done, right, was just to meet Yora. He must have done it like about 6 times by now, I swear to fuck. Like, literally, and like Omega won't stay down. There was a spot outside where I think it was Omega trying to put Shima through like some sort of like it's sort of like a little table, but then Shima like basically got onto like where like I guess like the first story, it's not obviously massive, but like a little bit higher up to where the fans are, and then jumped and then hit Omega, which is actually quite cool. Like it, like literally sort of put him through it. But there was a lot of like false finishes in this match, which again would like gets counted with like the V trigger, like the one winged angel got reversed quite a few times. But then I think the ending was the hang on, wait a sec. Shima with a roundhouse kick, but then Omega hits a knee to the back, of a head up to the back of his head, and then hits. Then it was reversed again after that. Like he was going to go for something else. Then it was a Tiger Driver 98, but then Shima kicks out at 2. Then a V trigger into the One Winged Angel for the 3 count. It was just match. Like basically, the match of the night was before, and now this is the match of the night. I generally thought it was insane. Like I don't do it justice because there was so many good stuff in it. Like moonsault from Omega, but then Shima gets his knees up. Again, it was all like counter reacting because they know each other so well, or like once they know each, well they do obviously. But like, you know, Shima's been literally been wrestling for 22 years, and I'm only fucking 23 for fuck's sake. You know, obviously Kenny's supposed to be like this best bout machine ever, probably one of the best wrestlers in recent time. Like he's up there. You know what I mean? Having those two go at it, and the credibility that Kenny give to Shima, like it was just overall like the pairing matched up so well. There were so many good counteracts and stuff. It was really, really hard to just sort of do it justice, for me, completely honest. But it was really, really good, this match. And this match of the night was literally insane. So obviously Shima looked so good in this match. He lived up to the fight. And it was just good from both people. And then the crowd give a standing ovation for Shima. And he generally deserves it. Like, I know he lost, but it was actually really, really good. So I just generally thought it was really, really good. Next up was Jericho's open mic. Now, obviously, if I did this review beforehand, I would have said the promo was good, right? But knowing the facts, right, that it's come out, I think it was yesterday. I think Jericho said that this this promo he done was completely off the fly. Like, he's not even rehearsed it. He's not even written anything down. He literally just went out there and just said everything. And it was just spot on. The stuff he was saying. Obviously, Jericho wants his thank you, is what which is what I was assuming. It's basically, his first thing he was basically saying was, look at the blood on his hand, which is from Paige earlier on. Then he says he wants his thank you and tells a fat guy to shut up in the crowd. Then he plays up to the crowd where he basically either called him Jerksonville or Jackoffville. I think that Jackoffville would probably just be a thing now because a lot of people actually reacted to that one rather than Jerksonville. Says he's going to beat up everyone in AEW. If it wasn't for Jericho, AEW wouldn't be a thing. The TV deal in October was made by him. Jericho, I didn't really understand what he was trying to say. He was sort of saying he was sort of bothered that with the battle royale to like basically make whoever won it, which obviously Hangman did. He just sort of got a little bit annoyed because he could have faced anyone else, right? He said he could have faced anyone else, like the kid with no legs or Joey Janela. List goes on. He's still up worrying about this match, but it's just another match. He says. He's the greatest of all time, tells the crowd to shut up, but if he loses Jericho, where does Jericho go from here? That's what he was basically saying. Like, he has to win. He has to beat the Hangman. Because if he loses, then what? You know? Never trust Chris Jericho. He will prove it all out. He will become AEW champion. Then he basically says Hangman is nothing more than a little bitch. Then basically Paige attacks Jericho. He comes through. Paige clearing out the refs and the locker room emptying, which wasn't really the locker room emptying. It was literally just like SCU, Joe Janela, I think Jack Evans and Angelico was there, and a couple of others. I think I can't quite remember. But it actually looked quite bad. His eye, which is quite like obviously it looked bad as it was, but obviously like the swelling got a little bit up, and it looked really really bad. Obviously that was due to Jericho. But yeah, like it was just really, really good from Jericho, being honest, because considering that it was a promo that wasn't really, you know, that scripted. It was just off the fly, you know what I mean? But the main event of the evening is the Brotherhood, Cody and Dustin Rhodes versus the Young Bucks. Now, there was a promo package before this. Now, I could be completely wrong when I say this, right? But Dustin says in the promo package, we were the first tag team to beat the Shield. Now, I'm not fucking fantastic when it comes to this, right? But were they the first team to beat the Shield? Let me know. Let me know. If anyone knows, let me know. Because I'm pretty certain that's what they said, but they had to bleep out the Shield. But yeah, it must have been the Shield. I don't know why I'm pretty certain it's the Shield. So this obviously has been hyped up as the dream tag team match. This is going to be great. Dustin had a good reaction when he came out. Handshake at the start of the match. But then there was a no handshake after, like when they, like the back and forth they do, like I guess in any wrestling match, and they sort of get the upper hand, and then one person does, and then there was no handshake, which is fine. It was really, really good because Bucks being the way they wrestled in this match, considering how they normally wrestle, proves how good they can do things. You know what I mean? Like, they're really, really good if in any situation that they have to be serious or they have to tone it down in certain ways. Everything was just really, really good in this match, and Cody did well. There was a lot of like shades of Dusty in this match as well, like a couple of the moves that Dustin done. There was a lot of like double super kicks and like double, like like the, I guess it's sort of like a punch in a way, when they like sort of drop down and punch, the signature move that Cody and Dustin would do. But Dustin's attire actually looked quite good in this match as well. Cody looked good. Everyone looked good in this match. It was just a really, really good, solid tag team match. Then they call for a super kick party. Then it was blocked. Then a double sharpshooter by the Bucks. Then there was a figure 4 from the Brotherhood. And then it was just a really, really cool sequence. So it was like, they got out of sharpshooter, they got up, and then sort of beat each other up again, and then goes into the figure 4. Sort of like reminiscing, Rick and Brett, really, I suppose, in that match. It was just good. You know what I mean? Everything was just good about it. And then like the end of the match was quite weird because like Nick with the super kicks Dustin, and then they was sort of looking for the Mountain Driver. Then Cody blocks it into a disaster kick. Then crossroads on Matt. But then Nick hits the senton for a 2 count, which basically, that sequence was basically if Nick didn't get that senton in time, then he probably would have lost. Then there was a double super kick on Cody after a dive from the top rope. He sort of went for like like when they jump to the second rope and then jump onto the top rope and then just dived over, and then there was like a double super kick on Cody. And then another super kick to the back of the head of Cody. Then drop down 2 uppercuts. Drop down 2 uppercuts from the Bucks, and then 2 super kicks from Dustin and Cody. It was just insane. Everything was just insane. And there was a mouse driver on Cody, and then Matt pins Cody for the 3 count. It was absolutely fantastic match. Over 30 minutes of pure tag team action. It was really, really good. And it's probably the match of the night. So there's 3 matches a night in the space of 3 matches towards the end. Like, I'm not saying like the other 3 was bad, but it just got better as the night got on. And I thought, and I was quite okay with the opening first hour and a half of probably what sort of took me down on a downhill spiral was probably Hangman versus Kip Sabian. But then I sort of got back into it because the tag team match was really, really good, and it just sort of got better from there. Like, it's really, really harsh to say, but like it started off wow, and then I just got a little bit bored of that Hangman match. But I don't know if it was just me, but I don't know. Just it was better than Fyter Fest though. Put it that way. It was more fun throughout, and I'm really, really looking forward to more AEW. You've got my interest now, AEW. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the match, Dustin helps up Cody after the match, and then a sign of respect from the Bucks. Then Matt got on the mic saying things got competitive, weeks on end, making fun. It was all in the spirit of competition. They've been all over the world, and the myth has been about the Rose Brothers. Matt didn't watch the other product, WWE, but then he actually did say, like, I think it was in the backstage, basically the Being the Elite, the recent one. I think he said it towards the end. He actually did watch it. It was just more of the, you know what I mean, just because TV. So didn't watch the other product, but he said they're one of the best tag teams I've ever faced. Then Kenny music hit, which basically meant, because everyone got a bit confused, like, why is Kenny coming out for? But then it was due to the fact that they went over time, and the whole locker room comes out. I say the whole locker room, but it wasn't. And then Khan brings out a check to support the charity event. Obviously, this was a charity event, obviously, for $150,000. Obviously, everyone contributed, which is absolutely fantastic. Over $150,000 raised for charity, which is absolutely fantastic. It was sort of like a shot from Cody as well, because then Cody basically said that you can't counter program what AEW is doing. Like, considering this was a fucking charity event and then WWE put Evolve on the network the exact same night at the exact same time, how pathetic. How pathetic is that? Like, literally. Like, they say they're not worried, right? Just saying, they're saying they're not worried, WWE, but then they go and do that. Fucking pathetic. It was just great. Like, there's like, you know, it was just great. Everything was, it was just a good show. Basically, Kenny got on the mic and says thanks for the support and stuff like that. Everything was fantastic. I didn't watch the pre-show. I'm assuming it wasn't overly fantastic, but if not, if I missed the best pre-show of all time, let me know. But I don't think I have. But this has been my review, guys. Again, I sort of mixed it up between the two. I didn't really know how I wanted to do it. I might just have to just go off what I think rather than the notes. I mean, the notes help me with like different moves and stuff, but I should probably just write down, because I've like a lot of it I basically said is, you know, what I thought after the match. So, you know, I just thought I'd just give you a bit of differency, I guess. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate you guys popping in, just saying hello, you know, just clicking on the video. If you have made it this far, make sure to leave a like as well if you have. I do appreciate anyone being here. Let me know what you thought of AEW Fight for the Fallen. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.